Right, number 12. Oh, why did that go off? I had it open. Yeah, go on.
So it's
2 plus 3i,
and then 3i.
2 minus 3i.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, and you know that'll lead lovely into what we've to do today. Right, 2 plus 3i multiplied by 2 minus 3i. Split up the first bracket, 2 multiplied by the second bracket, 2 minus 3i. Then the rest of the first bracket, which is plus 3i, multiplied by the second bracket, which is 2 minus 3i. Right, multiply now to get 4 minus 6i, right, plus 3i by 2 is 6i, a plus by a minus is a minus, 3 by 3 is 9, I by I is I squared. So the minute you see I squared, you replace it with minus 1, so plus 6i minus 9 times minus 1, okay? So that would be 4 minus 6i plus 6i, a minus by minus is a plus, 9 ones are 9. Okay, then put your real bits together and your imaginary bits together. 4 plus 9 will give me 13. Minus 6i plus 6i, you can write that as 0i, or you could just write nothing at all. Right? Okay, because plus 6 and minus 6 cancel each other out. So, actually, if it's okay with you, we'll just write nothing at all, because it's really important for the next bit. Yeah. Okay, just 13. So don't write 13 plus not I, just write 13. Okay, because the i's have disappeared. Right, they've cancelled each other out. Is that okay? Right, which leads me to what we're learning today. Any other question from last night's homework before I move on? Right, today we're going to do dividing complex numbers, but before we divide complex numbers, we have to learn what the conjugate of a complex number is. Now it sounds really complicated, but it's, wait till you see how easy it is to get the conjugate. Okay? So the rule is, change the sign of the imaginary part. So the rule is, change the sign of the imaginary part. I'll leave you jotted down and then I'll do some examples. That's the symbol, yeah, the line across the top of it. So it's, oh, that's just me drawn, like I'm going making a table. Okay, so the line under it doesn't mean anything, that's just me. Z with a line on top. Okay, I'll just put a cross in my Z so you know they're Z's, they're not 2's. So Z, so the conjugate of a complex number, they never write out the words for you. They'll just do Z with a line across the top of it. So you have to know that Z with a line across the top, it means they want the conjugate. Okay? Right? And the conjugate, girls, is you change the sign of the imaginary part. So if I have 2 plus 3i, Z conjugate is the real bit stays as plus 2, but plus 3i becomes minus 3i, and that's my answer. Okay? So what do you think the conjugate of minus 3 minus 4i is? Minus 3 plus 4i. Okay, so you just change the sign of the imaginary bit, not the real bit. The real bit stays the same. So remember, the imaginary bit has the I in it. Okay, so if I have minus 3 plus 2i, what would that be? minus 3 minus 2i. You don't need any more examples, do you? Right? Okay, so you just change the sign of the imaginary bit. And do people know how to do it? Of course. Right? Do people recognize how to do it? Because they'll say, here's Z, calculate Z with a line across the top of it. Sometimes they forget, so don't be that person. Okay? The Z with the line across the top means the conjugate, and it just means change the sign of the imaginary part. So change the sign of the I term. Right? Change the sign of the I term. Okay? Are we good with that? Is it down? Right, why the hell would you need this? You need this for division of complex numbers, right? So you need to know what the conjugate is for division of complex numbers is what we're doing next. So division of complex numbers, I'll just give you the rule. Multiply above and below by the conjugate of what's below the line. And I'm going to show you how to do this with an example straight away. I'm going straight to an example. Yeah. I am. I'm getting very good to remember, aren't I? I have to praise myself. 6 plus 2i divided by 2 minus 3i. Okay. So when you've this much written down, I want you to put the pens down. I want you to listen to me, and I'll give you a chance to write it down then. Okay? It's better to listen. Right? Okay. Okay, this is a division. Right? Okay? So I have 6 plus 2i over 2 minus 3i. That means 6 plus 2i divided by 2 minus 3i. Okay? The rule is you multiply. So multiply sign. Above and below, so above the line and below the line, by the conjugate of what's below the line. So what's below the line? Tell me what's below the line. 2 minus 3i. Right? So what's the conjugate of 2 minus 3i? 2 plus 3i. So you multiply above the line by 2 plus 3i, and you multiply below the line by the exact same thing. So if you multiply above the line and below the line by the exact same thing, you're not changing it, right? You're just making it different, okay? So does everyone see? You multiply above and below the line, above and below by the conjugate of what's below the line. Does everyone see how I decided what to do? I looked at below the line, I got the conjugate of what's below the line, which is just change the sign of the imaginary part. So it still stays at plus 2, but minus 3i becomes plus 3i. And I'm going to multiply above the line by that, and I'm going to multiply below the line by that. Okay? Is that alright? And when you multiply above and below the line by the same number, you're not changing it. Okay? Right. So, above the line. What do I want to multiply above the line, please? 6 plus 2i, and I'm going to put them into brackets, because you'll see there's actually nothing new here. What am I going to multiply it by? 2 plus 3i. Guess what? That's a multiply. And I've just practiced my multiplies until I'm sick of looking at them. Okay? So you split up the first bracket, write the second bracket down twice. 2 plus 3i. Then you have a plus 2i, and you multiply it by 2 plus 3i. Isn't that right? Multiplying, you get 12 plus 18i plus 4i plus 6i squared. Now right? The minute you see an I squared, what do I do with it? Replace it with minus 1. So I have 12 plus 18i plus 4i plus 6 times minus 1, right? So that's 12 plus 18i plus 4i. A plus by minus is a minus, that's a 6, sorry. 6 ones are 6. Is that okay? Then put your real bits together and your imaginary bits together. So 12 take away 6 is 6, and 18i plus 4i is 22i. Okay, that's what I got above the line when I did my calculations above the line. Now I need to do my calculations below the line. So below the line, what do I want to multiply, please? 2 plus 3i, 2 minus 3i by 2 plus 3i. Okay, so I want to multiply that by that. Okay, so again, it's just a multiply. So I have split up the first bracket, write the second bracket down twice. Minus 3i times 2 plus 3i. Multiplying out, I get 2 2s are 4. 2 by 3i is 6i. Minus 3i by 2 is minus 6i. Then a minus by plus is a minus. 3 by 3 is 9. I by I is I squared. Right? So that's 4 plus 6i minus 6i minus 9 times minus 1. So that's 4 plus 6i minus 6i, and a minus by a minus is a plus, and 9 ones are 9. So put your real bits together, your imaginary bits together. Real bits are 4 and 9 makes 13. And what about the imaginary bits? Plus 6 minus 6? Gone. 0. 0i. But don't write 0i, just cross them out. Now that should always happen below the line, because that's the plan. Right? Okay? Put your answers back together. So above the line I got 6 plus 22i. And below the line, what did I get? 13. So all I need to do is split up, give each little bit, so I still have a real bit and an imaginary bit. I'm just going to give each little bit its own 13. So it's 6 over 13 plus 22i, over 13. Just so I have a real bit and an imaginary bit again, because I like that for my complex numbers. Is that alright? Okay, yeah, if I can, I'll have to magic it up. Right, okay. Wait, now, what I need to do is, if I move this out of the way. Right, and then I'll do this. Yeah, I think I'm good. Yeah, okay. So, we say division of complex numbers. Did we divide at any stage? No, we multiplied on top and we multiplied on the bottom and put our answers back together. Okay? So there's no actual division, right, at all. It was 2 multiplies. So are we learning anything new today? No. We're learning nothing new today. We're just doing multiplying like we did yesterday and the day before. Yes? Yeah, you put it under each bit. So if there was 4 bits, each bit would be under 13, over 13. But there's 2 bits, so each bit is over 13. Is that alright? So I'll freeze that a sec. Now I'll be writing down example 2. And girls, I know it's 5th year, it's only 5th year, right? But every year on the Leaving Cert, there's a complex number question, and in the complex number question, there's always a division. Okay? So you know the way you can't predict what's coming up, you'll be doing one of these June 12th month. Okay? Right? assuming we don't all die of some other virus or something. Yeah, yeah. We have to think positive. We're not going to die. Right. What's that?
Is there the last chapter, or are we in another chapter before?
Wait, now I see. Give me a minute.
Or if we're doing another chapter, can we not have that chapter on the test?
I'll tell you what. We just won't do a chapter and we'll just do a revision. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do a load of revision with you. Okay? Right, because I think if I do another chapter, you wouldn't listen to me anyway. And if I didn't put it on the test, Rachel, you definitely wouldn't listen to me. So, yeah. Yeah, we just have to weigh up the pros and cons. Give me a minute now and I'll find a different example. Oh, girls, just the summer test, everything we've done. Right? Did I tell you this already? Yeah. Did I give you the plan? Oh, that's great, because I thought I made the plan and never gave it to you, and then I was there, it's too late to give it to you now. But anyway, it's grand.
What does it say at the bottom right corner for the answer for below?
22 over 13 now. This bit, wait now.
On the other side.
Oh, here?
Yeah, below.
13?
No,
Where am I?
see, it's 6. Oh yeah, I have it there.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
So there's, how do people get these wrong? They forget that they have to multiply above and below by the conjugate, and they see the word divide and they start dividing numbers. Okay, is there any division in this? There's no division at all. It's two multiply sums. So it doesn't, you're not doing what they ask you to do. So it puts people off. So don't forget, because this is, I'm telling you here now, there's going to be one in your leaving cert, so therefore there's going to be one on your summer exam. And any exam we do on complex numbers between now and your leaving cert, there'll be a division on it. Yes?
Do you know for the question there, if you put it, the whole thing over 13, you still get it right?
As in, if you got to here? Sorry? Oh yeah, please. Yeah, sorry. As in, if you just gave this as your answer, you get it right. Okay? Unless there's some questions they'll ask you to put it into a real bit and a measure bit. I'll clarify that further when we see questions. Are we okay for example 2? Can I move it up?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Example 2. So again, it's a division. Right, okay. So it's 4 plus 5i over 5 plus I. Remember, over means divided by. Okay? So the rule is you multiply above and below by the conjugate of what's below. So what's the conjugate of what's below the line, please? 5 minus I. So it's a plus 5. It still stays as a plus 5. You change the sign of the imaginary bit. So it was plus I, now it's minus I. Okay? And if you must multiply above and below by the same number, because if you don't, you're changing the sum, right? You're not doing the sum, you're changing it. So if you multiply above and below by the same number, you haven't changed it. So I always do it separately, okay? So I'm going to do above the line, and I'm going to get an answer. And then I'm going to do below the line, and I'm going to get an answer. And then I'm going to put my answers back together, okay? So above the line, what am I trying to multiply above the line? 4 plus 5i multiplied by 5 minus I. So it's just to multiply like we were doing, split up the first bracket, write second bracket down twice. So it's 4 times 5 minus I plus 5i times 5 minus I. So multiplying out, that's 20 minus 4i plus 5 by 5 is 25i, then a plus by a minus is a minus, 5 by 1 is 5, I by I is I squared. The minute you see an I squared, replace it with minus 1, so that's 20 minus 4i plus 25i minus 5 times minus 1. Okay, so that's 20 minus 4i plus 25i plus 5. And then put your real bits together and your imaginary bits together. So I'm just going to squash it in here. It's 25 minus, plus 21i. Minus 4i plus 25 is plus 21i. Okay, is that alright? Above the line. Can you read it? I know I squashed it in. My writing's getting smaller as it's getting down. Below the line. Below the line, I want to multiply 5 plus I by 5 minus I. So that would be, split up the first bracket, write the second bracket down twice. So it's 5 by 5 minus I plus I by 5 minus I. Multiplying, 5 by 5 is 25, 5 by minus I is minus 5i. Multiply in here, plus I by 5 is plus 5i, right? And plus by a minus is a minus, I by I is I squared. The minute you see an I squared, replace it with a minus 1. So it's 25 minus 5i plus 5i minus and minus 1. Okay? So there's nothing to multiply because it's just I squared on its own. So it's minus I squared, so that's minus minus 1. Right? So that's 25 minus 5i plus 5i minus minus 1 becomes a plus 1. Is that okay? And then put your real bits together and your imaginary bits together. So real bit is 25 plus 1, which is 26. And minus 5i and plus 5i give me 0. They cancel each other out. Give you 0. So just knock them out. Right? And they should, that's the whole point of division, is you get rid of the I underneath the line. So you should always end up with just a real number here, as in no imaginary bit. If you end up with an imaginary bit below the line, you've gone wrong. Okay? Right? And then don't forget to put your answer back together. So above the line, I got 25 plus 21i. Below the line, I got a 26. And I want to get you to get into the habit of splitting it up. Right? Okay? 25 over 26. Just put each term over 26. Plus 21i over 26. So we don't like to share, so each one gets their own 26. Okay, is that right? That's your answer. What do you think? They're not too bad. They're long, but they're not too bad. Right, okay. So I'm going to give you a few of these for homework. So I'm going to do page 98. And let's do all of question 4. Right, and I'll put it up in Teams now, and I'll stop recording. Sorry, you can't see anymore. Just question 4. There's 8 parts in it. Right, okay, so are we okay?